She built him with her bare hands. She paid for his education. She ironed his shirts. She cooked his food. She apologized for things she did not do. She made herself smaller and smaller, trying to fit into a life she had helped create. And on a Tuesday night in the 8th month, he threw her out. Not quietly, not with shame, with his new girlfriend watching from the doorway and a smile on her face, like ego was already gone. This is part 3, and before it is over, you will understand exactly what kind of man Chinedu had become, and exactly what kind of woman ego was about to discover she had always been. It started with a handbag, a large, stylish handbag that did not belong to ego, sitting in the bedroom chair when she came home from the market one Wednesday afternoon. She stood in the bedroom doorway and looked at it for a long time. She did not touch it. She did not move it. She went to the kitchen and started cooking. When Chinedu came home that evening, she mentioned it quietly, just an observation, not an accusation, just, "Whose bag is that on the chair?" He told her it was none of her business. She stood at the stove and absorbed that. None of her business in the bedroom she had cleaned every week for 8 months. In the home she had helped furnish with the money she made selling fish. None of her business. 2 days later, there was a woman's perfume on the bathroom shelf, a different toothbrush in the holder, a pair of heeled shoes by the front door. Ego arranged them neatly beside her own flat sandals and said nothing. She was still trying. She was still holding on. She had not yet understood that the house had already changed ownership. Not on paper, but in power, and nobody had told her. It was a Friday evening when Chinedu told her. No preamble, no conversation. He simply looked at her across the living room and said she would be sleeping in the living room from now on. Ego looked at him. She asked him to repeat himself. He did. The same words, the same flat tone, the eyes that had once searched a crowd at a graduation ceremony just to find her face. Now they barely stopped on her at all. She did not shout, she did not throw anything, she did not reach for the years she had invested and hold them in front of his face like evidence. She asked him one question. She asked him if he remembered what he said to her on graduation day. He told her that was a long time ago. Then he went into the bedroom and closed the door. That night, Ego lay on the living room sofa in the dark and listened to the sounds of the home she had paid for being lived in by someone else. She could hear the television through the bedroom door. She could hear laughter. She lay completely still and stared at the ceiling and felt something in her chest, not grief, not anger, not even humiliation, just a cold, quiet clarity. The kind that comes to a person when they finally understand something they had been refusing to see. She had not lost Chinedu. She had never had him. What she had been holding on to all these years was a version of him that had existed only in her own belief. And belief, she was learning, is not the same thing as truth. Her name was Adana. Ego learned this the morning she came out of the bathroom to find the woman standing in the kitchen in a silk robe, opening cupboards with the ease of someone who had already decided this was her home. Adana was beautiful in the way that women are beautiful when they have never had to fight for anything. Smooth skin, easy confidence, the careless confidence of someone who has never had to earn her place. She looked at Ego the way you look at furniture you are considering replacing. Then she asked her, pleasantly, almost casually, if she could make breakfast. Ego stood in the kitchen doorway in her plain blouse and wrapper and looked at this woman in her silk robe standing at the stove she had bought and felt the full weight of what was happening pressed down on her all at once. She asked who she was talking to. Adana smiled. She said she was talking to whoever did the cooking in this house, and then she turned back to the cupboard and continued opening it. Ego did not make the breakfast. She walked back to the living room, sat on the sofa that was now her bed, and held her hands in her lap and breathed. When Chinedu came out and saw she had not cooked, he looked at her with an expression of open disgust. He told her she needed to stop causing problems. He said Adana was his guest and she would be treated with respect. Ego looked at him. She said quietly, without raising her voice, that she was not the help. Chinedu laughed. Not a warm laugh, the laugh of a man who has decided the person in front of him no longer warrants his full contempt. He said she was acting like she owned something. He said she needed to remember where she came from. And then he walked back into the bedroom and closed the door. Ego sat on the sofa that was now her bed and felt the last thread of who she had been trying to be in this house snap cleanly. Something was ending. She could feel it the way you feel weather changing before the rain arrives.
She chose a Sunday afternoon. Adana was out. The house was quiet. Ego came to Chinedu in the living room when he was watching television, and she sat across from him and she spoke. She did not beg. She did not cry. She had done both of those things already, and they had produced nothing. She simply laid it out. She told him she had given him 3 years. She told him she had paid for his education with money she did not have, with health she could not afford to lose, with years she could not get back. She told him she was not asking for all of it. She was asking for the one thing he had promised her, the store, something small, something she could build for herself. Just give her that, and she would ask for nothing else. She asked him to look at her. He did. And then he said something she had not been prepared for. He told her that she was the reason he could not move forward. He said she was a weight around his neck, a reminder of a version of himself he was trying to leave behind. He said the market, the fish, the struggling, that was not his life anymore. And she, with her plain clothes and her market bag and her constant reminders of what he owed her, was a walking monument to everything he was ashamed of. Ego sat with that for a moment. Then she said, still quietly, that she was not ashamed of where she came from. And that was when he stood up. What happened in the next few minutes, Ego would not speak about for a long time. There was a movement, fast, sudden, final. But when it was over, she was on the floor, and Chinedu was standing over her, and the bedroom door was open, and Adana was standing in the doorway, watching, with her arms folded, and an expression that was not horror. It was satisfaction, like something had been confirmed. He gave her 20 minutes. He stood in the living room and told her she had 20 minutes to collect her things and leave his house. His house. The house whose first 3 months of rent she contributed to from her market savings. His house. For a moment it looked like she might speak, like she might remind him of everything. She didn't. Ego went to the bedroom, to the corner where her things had been pushed to make room for Adana's, and she began to fold her clothes quietly. She did not rush, she did not beg. She folded each item carefully and placed it in the bag the way a person packs when they are trying to hold themselves together with the act of doing something ordinary. Adana stood in the bedroom doorway and watched. She made a comment about how little Ego had. Ego did not respond. She zipped the bag. She picked it up. She walked to the front door. And then Chinedu took the bag from her hand and threw it through the open door onto the front step. Then he went back inside and began throwing the rest of her things out. Clothes, shoes, a small plastic container, a wrapper fabric she had been saving, all of it landing on the step and the path outside. Ego stood on the step and watched her life being thrown out around her. She did not scream, she did not fight, she stood completely still, and when he was done, he looked at her standing there among her scattered things, and he said, without any particular emotion, that she should be grateful she had somewhere to go. Then he stepped back inside and closed the door. Just like that, 3 years ended. The sound of the latch clicking shut was the loudest thing Ego had ever heard.
She sat on the front step for a long time. Not because she had nowhere to go. She had Adana. She had her mother's compound in Onitsha. She had options. She sat because she needed a moment. Just one moment to sit in the middle of everything she had lost and feel the full weight of it before she stood up and carried it. The street was ordinary around her, a neighbor's radio playing from somewhere, children running in the distance, a woman selling water passing on the road who glanced at the scattered bags and kept walking. Nobody stopped. Nobody asked. This was not a world that paused for other people's devastation. Ego looked at her hands. These hands had counted his textbook money. They had wrung out his shirts. They had sold her own treatment fund so he could sit his exams. They had held a perfume bottle like it was made of glass because no one had ever bought her one before. And now they sat empty in her lap on the front step of a house that no longer had a place for her. She sat there until the light began to change. And then she did something. She reached into her bag, not the scattered ones, the small market bag she had been carrying when she came home that Tuesday, and she pulled out her phone. She called Adana. 3 rings. Adana answered. Ego said 4 words. She said, "I am coming out." Not "I am done," not "I am broken," not "I have nothing." I am coming out, like someone emerging from something, like someone who had been underground and had finally found the surface, like a woman who had just lost everything a man had promised her and had decided, sitting on a front step with her clothes scattered around her feet, that she was going to build it herself, the way she always had. They threw her out, with her bags, on a Tuesday night, while his new woman watched from the doorway and laughed, and Ego sat on that step and looked at her hands, not as something that had been used, but as something that could build again. The same hands that had paid for his education, the same hands that had ironed his shirts and cooked his food and counted money she could not afford to give. And she made a call. 4 words. I am coming out. In part 4, Ego goes back to the market, not because she has to, because she has decided. And when a woman who survived what Ego survived decides something, the world had better pay attention. Subscribe, turn on your notification bell. Part 4 is where everything changes.